Om Vakratunda Mahakaya
Vakratundamahakaya
Surya Koti
Suryakoti
Samaprabha
Samaprabha
Nirvignam
Nirvignam Kuru
Kuru
Me
Me
Deva
Deva
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvada
Sarvada Saraswati
Saraswati
Namastubhyam
Namastubhyam
Varade
Radhe
Kavarupini
Kamarupini
Vidyarambham
Vidyarambam
Karashyami
Karishyami
Siddhir
Siddhir
Bhavatu Me
Bhavatume
Sada
Sada
Gurur
Guru
Brahma
Brahma
Gurur
Guru
Vishnu
Vishnu
Gurur
Guru
Devo
Devo
Maheshwaraha
Maheshwaraha
Guru
Guru
Sakshat
Sakshat
Param
Param
Brahma
Brahma
Tasmai
Tasmai
Shri
Shri
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha
Namaha Om
Om
Sahana
Sahana
Bhavatu
Bhavatu
Sahano
Sahano
Bhunaktu
Bhunaktu Saha
Sahaviryam
Viryam
Karavavahe
Karavavahe Tejasvidhavadhita Vastava
Tejasvinavadhitamastuma
Vidvishavahe
Vidvishavahe
Om
Om
Shanti
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 Shanti Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha
Atat Tritiyodhyayah
Atha Dvitiyodhyayaha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Lokesmin Vividha Nishtha
Lokesmin Dvita Nishtha
Pura Prokta Maya Nagha
Pura Prokta Maya Naga
Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam
Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam
Karma Yogena Yoginam.
Karma Yogena Yoginam.
We are reading this shloka and we are discussing yesterday the different types of sannyasa. Vidvat sannyasa, Vividisha sannyasa. The last type of sannyasa is apat sannyasa, and Shankaracharya he became a sannyasi by the third way, that is apat sannyasa. He took apat sannyasa. How Shankaracharya became a sannyasi? Shankaracharya wanted to become a sadhu at very young age. From Brahmacharya ashrama directly to sannyasa ashrama. But his mother was not at all agreeable. As the story of his life goes, he had the help of a crocodile that had caught hold of his leg while he was bathing in the river. Shankaracharya's mother was waiting for him on the bank and he called out to tell her what was happening. It may have been a ploy or perhaps the crocodile was symbolic of samsara. We don't know. In any case, when his mother began crying, Shankaracharya told her that if he took the vows of sannyasa, the crocodile would let go of him. Because there was danger to his life involved, this was apat sannyasa. Shankaracharya then took the vows, and lo behold, the crocodile released him. When he walked out of the river, his mother said, "Come on, let us go home." What? Shankaracharya replied, "I am a sannyasi now." When his mother told him the vows were only for the crocodile's sake, he said, "No, not at all. I have made the vows that I am going." In this way, Shankaracharya became a sannyasi. Later, he went to the Guru Govinda Bhagavad Pada, who lived on the banks of the river Narmada in the middle of India, and became his disciple. It was Govinda Padacharya, who ratified Shankaracharya's vows of sannyasa. The ratification is always possible whenever one has taken apat sannyasa and survives. Expecting some good end from the sannyasa ashrama, people have value for it. This expectation is based on the belief that a sannyasi doesn't take another birth. If there is a birth, the hope is that one will at least get a better chance in the next life. This is a belief, and one has faith, shraddha in it. A person may be born into a family where he or she can start life as a sadhu. So that directly from the brahmacharya stage, he or she will become a sannyasi and not a grihastha. Thus, those who have become sannyasis this way may have been apat sannyasis in their previous life. It's a possibility. The last ritual of a sannyasi. Arjuna's heart was not in apat sannyasa. He was not dying, but he did not want to know. But he did not want to know. Therefore, he wanted to take vividisha sannyasa. Sorry, he was not dying, but he did want to know. He wanting to know, wanting to know, he want to know. Jnanam he wants. He's a seeker of knowledge. He wants to know that by which he becomes free. So he's a seeker of knowledge. Therefore, he wanted to take Vividisha Sannyasa. Vividisha means Veditum Icha, wanting to know. So therefore, he took this. He wanted to take Vividisha Sannyasa because he wanted to know. In Sannyasa, what happens? One gives up all karmas. Veda itself religiously relieves the person from all karma, so that the person can commit himself only to the study of Shastra. He can commit only to the study of Shastram for gaining jnanam for moksha. That is what Arjuna wanting to know, Vividisha Sannyasa. Therefore, since in Sannyasa one gives up all karmas, for which there is a special ritual, it's called Viraja Homa, the last fire ritual, Viraja Homa, that a sannyasi performs. You may see a sannyasi doing a puja, but you will never see a sannyasi sitting around a fire performing a Vedic ritual, because sannyasi has given up karma religiously. Is not supposed to perform any Vedic ritual anymore after sannyasa. It's a rule. That is what sannyasa means. Gives up all the Agni karma related, karma, any karma connected with Agni, fire. And in all the Vedic karmas, they involve fire. There is no karma without fire, without Agni. So Vedic ritual means Agni karma. Therefore, you will never see a sannyasi sitting around a fire performing a Vedic ritual. Such a person has been freed of all obligatory fire rituals, of all karmas, in fact. Nitya Naimittikadi karma. Of course, Kamya karma. And Parishiddha karma, forbidden karma, of course, he must not do. So all these are implied. A sannyasi's last fire ritual is one in which all karmas are given up. Even in fact, he offered pinda to himself. Shraddha karma. He performs Shraddha to himself. So that is the last karma. In this ritual, the sannyasi bids goodbye to all the ancestors to whom there has been an obligation. Father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, great grandfather, great grandmother, and then rishis and devas. The person taking sannyasas, that self-knowledge, atma-jnanam, will be pursued to the exclusion of all else. Asks for the blessings of the paternal and maternal ancestors and takes a vow of abhaya, a vow not to harm any living being, including trees and plants. Abhaya. The sannyasi also vows to be a non-competitor in this world and all others, thereby becoming a person who doesn't compete for the sake of status, politically, economically, or socially. Knowledge is the only interest for the sannyasi. Therefore, only he commits himself only to the study of Shastram. So he announces to the world that he is not a threat. Abhaya. Bhaya is fear. Abhaya means he is not a source of fear, cause of fear. And is not a competitor to anyone anymore. Having taken these vows, the sannyasi takes a few symbolic steps towards the north. He walks towards the north. Some steps he takes towards the north, because the direction stands for moksha. South stands for death, yama. Southern direction, dakshina. Disha is death, Yama, the direction of Lord Yama. That is why Dakshinamurti, he faces towards south. He faces towards south so that the devotees faces Dakshinamurti towards north. The north is moksha. Bhagavan will face south because death cannot touch the Bhagavan. But the devotees faces Dakshinamurti and Dakshinamurti faces south. Therefore, devotee faces north. North is moksha. So that where Dakshinamurti is. This Lord Death, Lord Yama is the southerner. This symbolism may be based on the polar attraction in the north. Death never attracts you, whereas freedom from death does. Moving towards north in search of moksha, having discarded all clothing, the sannyasi is called back by the guru, given a set of simple clothing, and asked to serve and continue studying with the guru. This then is the ritual of sannyasa, be it either Vidvat sannyasa or Videsha sannyasa. Both are mentioned by Shankaracharya in his commentary. In Vidvat sannyasa, one may or may not take sannyasa formally, because sannyasa by knowledge. The main aim is that by knowledge one gives up all karmas. Jnanena sannyasa, karma sannyasa. Jnana karma sannyasa it is called. The knowledge is that I am a non-doer, aham akarta. I perform no action. This is what is called naishkaramya, the state of actionlessness, naishkaramya siddhi, the state of actionlessness. I perform no action at any time because aham atma, which is I, doesn't perform any action. Nor does Atma cause anyone to perform action. All this already we saw in the second chapter. Atma is not a karta, na karita. In the second chapter, the ideas were discussed in the beginning itself, Sankhya Yoga. There it has been discussed. Na karta, na karita iti. Na ayam hanti, na anyate. Na hanti, na anyate. Veda vinashinam nityam, ye namajamavyam katam sapurusha partha kam ghatayati hanti kam. Neither the doer nor the agent of the causative agent, causing to do. So therefore, I am not a doer in spite of all the actions I do. This knowledge is real sannyasa as described jnana karma sannyasa. For the sake of this jnana karma sannyasa, one takes to the lifestyle of sannyasa, pursuing self-knowledge. The other Nishta Karma Yoga is for all those seekers in the other ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha ashramas. So therefore, a person can continue in Grihastha ashrama and by Jnanam is a sannyasi. He has not taken formal sannyasa, not changed his robe, not taken the vows, but still could be a sannyasi. Oh, by Jnanam. It's called Jnana Karma Sannyasa. Even though he may be a Grihastha, doing the karma which are obligatory, which are to be done karma, the same thing one can be a sannyasi. It's called Antara Sannyasa, Jnana Karma Sannyasa. Physically, one can take sannyasa, that is sannyasa ashrama, chaturtha ashrama, fourth stage of life. Whereas Karma Yoga is for all those seekers in the other ashramas, not for the sannyasi. Because Karma Yoga involves karma, and since sannyasis are prohibited from doing karma, therefore Karma Yoga is only for other seekers in the other ashramas. Then what is the purpose of Karma Yoga? Karma Yoga, what is Karma Yoga already defined? The second chapter, Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam, there is one definition we saw. Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam. Siddhya Siddhyo Samavutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Samatvam Yoga iti. Two definitions we saw. In fact, there are many ways of interpreting the yoga. Panchamaha Yajna. Doing, it's going to come, that idea is going to be presented in this chapter. As a Grihastha, Karma Yoga means the person must do Panchamaha Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, Pitri Yajna, Manushya Yajna, then Rishi Yajna, Brahma Yajna iti, fivefold Yajnas, Grihastha must do. Fivefold Yajna, the karma for nullifying the fivefold Papam. That is Karma Yoga. There is no doubt that karma binds with its limited results. But if you do karma for Antakarana Shuddhi, for neutralizing your Raga Dveshas, for gaining the grace of Ishvara, if you perform your rituals, prayers, rituals, and duties for the sake of these alone, the karma, what you do, what you perform becomes a means, a yoga. For moksha, yoga is the means. So it becomes a means for moksha. If it is not done for moksha, then it is a mere karma. But if the karma becomes a means for moksha, it is called karma yoga, because it is done for antakarana shuddhi, for neutralizing the raga dveshas. Because of raga dvesha, there is karma, karma invites punya papam invites punarjanma, and therefore the samsara chakra. Or because of raga dvesha, the person is away from this jnanam, is always after purushartha, dharmartha kama purushartha, propelled by raga dvesha, performs varieties of karma, experiences karma pala, therefore suffers in samsara. So raga dvesha is a cause. Raga dvesha nothing but desire. Raga for ishta vishaya, and dvesha is also a type of raga only, from anishta vishaya. Raga is the yearning for ishta vishaya, desired objects or things or situations. Dvesha is for anishta vishaya, raga dvesha. In other words, desire. Raga dvesha, that alone binds a person. That alone makes a person a samsari. So in order to be relatively, sufficiently free from raga dvesha, one must do karma yoga, and that is called antakarana shuddhi. Antakarana meaning mind, purification of the mind. The mind is sufficiently relaxed. It is sufficiently ready for jnanam to happen. So that is possible only by karma yoga, and that is what the other ashramas, other than sannyasa ashrama, they do. So other than the sannyasa ashrama, they are the ashrama, they are the lifestyle which is meant for gaining antakarana shuddhi. Having gained antakarana shuddhi, then the person can take to sannyasa ashrama and commit himself to jnanam for moksha. So that is how the Veda has beautifully presents the ashramas. Sannyasa is only possible if you have lived a life of karma yoga. Otherwise, you become a sannyasi who has raga dveshas, and you will be miserable. A person with a desire should not take to sannyasa. Otherwise, his life will be miserable. The karma yogi as a means, a world, a field where his or her raga dveshas can be neutralized. About raga dvesha, we discussed elaborately in the second chapter. Such a field is not there for a sannyasi. Sannyasa means a life of study from morning to night, 24/7, only Shastra Shravanam, listening to the Shastram, reading, studying Shastram. Studying means it's contemplation. Studying itself is contemplation, contemplating on Brahma, Atma. No other activity is available because no karma, therefore only study, only Shastra Shravanam, Atma Chintanam. A sannyasi cannot even sing much because the pursuit of music, along with everything else, has already been given up. A sannyasi is one who has to pursue knowledge for which a certain capacity to contemplate is required. If the pressure from raga dvesha is there, you cannot sit in contemplation. You will find instead all kinds of agitation, or you will fall asleep. After a few days, in the lifestyle of a sannyasi, traditionally indicated by the wearing of orange robes, will become a source of irritation. Naturally, then sannyasa is meant only for those who, to an extent at least, have taken care of the ragas and dveshas. The twofold nishtha is meant for Shreyas. Arjuna wanted Krishna to tell him which one was better. And Krishna replied that one can be a sannyasi or a karma yogi. Both are meant for the same end. The end is moksha. That is called Shreyas. That's what Arjuna asked. Chitam Brugitanme. Shishyastegam Shadimam Dvam Prapannam Iti. He asked, and here also, here Tadekam Madanishchitya Yena Shreyaham Apniyam Iti. Therefore, for moksha, both are meant for the same end, moksha. One can live a life of karma yoga and gain moksha, and one can live a life of sannyasa also and gain moksha. The only difference is that for a sannyasi there is only knowledge, whereas for a karma yogi there is knowledge and karma. So knowledge is only means for moksha. Therefore, even if a person is karma yogi, he can do karma, gain chitta shuddhi, continue to do karma. At the same time, he can commit to Vedanta Shravanam, knowledge he can gain, so that it becomes free, muktaha. This difference must be understood well, because this is where there is a lot of confusion. Because karma yogi by karma gains moksha, iti, some people argue two types of yoga, karma yoga and jnana yoga. Jnana yoga are for sannyasis, therefore people take to sannyasa and pursue jnanam and gain moksha. And there are other set of people, they perform karma yoga and then gain jnanam and moksha. Iti, two different paths, karma yoga, jnana yoga. Not only that, so many yogas are there to leading to moksha. Iti, there is an absolute wrong view, confusion. It is all because of confusion, not understanding what moksha is, not understanding what bandha is. What is bandha? What is bondage? What is moksha? That has to be clearly understood. What is the bandha karanam? And therefore, moksha karanam is what? That is not understood, therefore, there is confusion. Whether you are a sannyasi or karma yogi, whatever the lifestyle you follow, knowledge is the only means for moksha. Sannyasi pursues only jnanam, knowledge. Karma yogi, he cannot give up karma because he's a karma yogi. He belongs to one of the three ashrama, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha. Therefore, he has to perform karma. At the same time, he can pursue jnanam also. Therefore, it's much difficult for the person, but he can do. And ultimately, by having gained chitta shuddhi by karma yoga, and because of the pursuit of jnanam, knowledge, he gains moksha. So that is possible. And there are examples also, Janaka, etc. Later, Bhagavan Krishna himself said. And Bhagavan himself has not taken to sannyasa, Bhagavan Krishna here. He is grihastha ashrama. It's a jnani or not, it's a jnani only. So, karma yogi and a jnani also. So there are many examples for that. Not taking to sannyasa, at the same time pursuing jnanam. Now here, Arjuna was a karma yogi, not a sannyasi. By listening to Krishna, he was pursuing jnanam. Although grihastha pursues other activities, they are qualified for knowledge, jnanam. This pursuit of knowledge plus the performance of karma made Arjuna a karma yogi. If the pursuit of knowledge had not been there, if he had no discrimination, if moksha had not been the end for him, he would not have been a karma yogi. So you can call yourself a karma yogi only when you are commitment for moksha. Otherwise, there is no karma yoga or karma yogi. You would have been a simple doer, a karmi, a karmatha. When moksha is the end in view, then karma becomes yoga, because it is done with a particular attitude in order to gain antakarana shuddhi, purification of the mind. In this way, karma yoga is important in gaining jnanam. You can take sannyasa and gain sarvakarma sannyasa, or you can live a life of karma yoga and gain the same thing. Therefore, twofold lifestyles are meant for the same end. Sarvakarma sannyasa is an end in itself for which the means is either of the two lifestyles. Sannyasa or Karma Yoga revealed by the Lord in the beginning itself, Pura Prokta Maya Naga, in the Veda, in the Upanishads. For Sarvakarma Sannyasa, meaning moksha, is the end for which two lifestyles are possible. So there's a choice in lifestyle, but there is no choice in moksha. Jnanam is the only means. That is what Bhagavan Krishna says here. That is the meaning of this shloka. Among the 10 Upanishads commonly studied, the first one is Ishavasya Upanishad. The first mantra of this Upanishad is meant for the sannyasi, Jnana Yogi. It says, in this moving world, everything should be looked upon you as Parameshwara, the Lord. Ishavasya Midam Sarvam. The Lord being everything, what is there that is yours or not yours? Live a life of renunciation and pursue self-knowledge alone. This mantra advises. Pursuit of this knowledge, giving up every other pursuit, is a life of sannyasa or jnana yoga, said Shankaracharya in his commentary. The second mantra of the same Upanishad says, even if you want to live 100 years, live doing karma with a proper attitude. The mantra is given. Kurvanne vega karma nijiji vishe chatagdu samaha evantvagi nanyate toste karma nalipyate nare Ishavasya Upanishad. So, do karma with the proper attitude. This is the best way for you. If karma is done in the proper way, it will not affect you at all. This is karma yoga. Thus, we see here the twofold nishtha, the lifestyles being unfolded. Sannyasa, wherein the pursuit of knowledge alone is involved, and karma yoga, the pursuit of knowledge, along with the whatever karma is to be done in keeping with the ashrama, varna and ashrama. Varna meaning whichever varna, whichever is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or ashrama, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. Throughout the Shastram, these two nishtas are always discussed in the same way. Choice of lifestyle. In the Vedic vision, Shreyas meaning ultimate good. That is moksha. Moksha is the ultimate good. Moksha is the end, the human destiny to be gained in this life. Here itself, samsara is crossed. Samsara, ajnanam is the cause for samsara. So samsara, as though it looked upon as there's an ocean, and this ocean, samsara, sagara, is to be crossed. That crossing is possible in this life itself, here itself. To have taken a human birth means that you have already made it, because you have an intellect, buddhi. Viveka is possible. Discrimination is possible. It is true that experience teaches, but you don't need to get knocked around for 75 years to develop discrimination. 25 years are good enough. Once you develop Viveka, Shreyas alone blooms large before you. It becomes only real and fun. Then you become either a karma yogi or a sannyasi. The nishtha was told in a twofold way because there are two kinds of people, but there is only one means for moksha, knowledge. Depending on the kind of person you are, you can either be a sannyasi and pursue knowledge to the exclusion of all else, or a karma yogi and pursue knowledge along with karma. In both the lifestyles, the pursuit of knowledge is common because knowledge is moksha. Therefore, the choice is not between jnanam and karma. It is between sannyasa and karma yoga. The choice is not between jnanam and karma because jnanam is a means for moksha. Jnanena eva mokshaha atu karmana na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amritatvama nashuhu. Therefore, there is no choice. This shloka is not properly understood by most of the people. Therefore, they think there's a choice. Different yogas, different paths, different means. There's a choice only between sannyasa lifestyle and karma yoga lifestyle. When the choice is between karma yoga and sannyasa, it is natural to look to sannyasa. Given a choice, why do karma at all? Naturally, here Arjuna will opt for sannyasa because this is a ghora karma. This is a yuddha karma, ghora karma. Tasmin karmani ghore mam, gruesome action. This yuddha is. So naturally, he will choose sannyasa. So given a choice, why do karma at all? Sannyasa seems to be the better choice since performing karma implies so much effort, problems, and even bloodshed. Karma can be a nuisance. When two lifestyles are available, why should I put up with the life of karma? The choice is like asking, which is a better way to catch hold of my nose in order to breathing exercises? Shall I take my hand directly to my nose, or shall I reach around from behind my head? Dravida pranayama, we say. It can be done either way. But when the first way is obviously so easy, there is a question of choosing. Sannyasa seems to be easier. Just give up all the karmas and pursue knowledge. Why do both? A karma yogi living in an agricultural society, for example, has to milk the cow, graze it, wash it, and take care of the children, among other things. One child is crying and the other is on the lap. The third one is tugging at him from behind. The mosquitoes are biting and his wife is shouting. In between, he has to perform the fire ritual called Agnihotra Karma with all its problems. The firewood is wet, everything is smoking, and his eyes become filled with all kinds of tears. Tears born out of the smoke, tears born out of all the nagging children, tears born out of his helplessness, and so on. When will such a person have time to pursue knowledge? Whenever he picks up the Gita book, all that comes is sleep. Is it therefore not better to go for sannyasa? Arjuna definitely thought so. However, sannyasa is not as easy as it appears. It looks as though you need only sit and study. But try it and you will find that it doesn't always work that way. Instead, you may vegetate all day because you are not able to study so intensively. This then is not the way. Thus, Krishna continued to tell Arjuna exactly what sannyasa and karma yoga are. Even though your choice is there, karma yoga will pave the way for sannyasa. It will even pave the way for the desire for knowledge and therefore for Vividisha sannyasa later. Krishna told Arjuna that sannyasa is not at all easy in spite of how pleasant and simple it appears to be. After all, sannyasa is giving up everything. Arjuna thought that giving up everything would not present any great problem, especially since he had lived in the forest for 12 years. But during those 12 years, he had been thinking about Duryodhana and the kingdom and the injustice of it all and the injustice of it. 12 years of meditation upon Duryodhana did not make Arjuna a sannyasi. Arjuna had been nursing a big hurt for a long time. Therefore, sannyasa was not going to come so easily to him. One doesn't become a sannyasi by choice, by decision alone, all of which Krishna would tell him later in the Gita. Then comes the next shloka that we will see, another beautiful shloka. Naishkarmyam. What is Naishkarmyam? What is actionlessness? The real meaning of being not performing action. We will see that in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.